Therefore, there is huge pressure on the irrigation system, on the soil, on the laborers who are picking because they're working in much more difficult conditions. And the fruits themselves, they have to be picked before they're fully ripe because otherwise they become raisins. They dry up on the plant because there's just not enough water. So things are changing and we do need to adapt. Final thing, just in terms of the magnitude of the problem, after dealing with all these complexities of producing the food, 1/3, listen to that number again, 1/3, and I'm sure it's familiar to many of you, 1/3 of the food that is produced globally is wasted or lost. So we struggle to produce food and then so much of it is wasted or lost, 14% of that on the farms themselves. Why? Because logistics is not in place, it's difficult to get them to market, increased heat, they go bad in silos or in transport, or farmers just don't know how to get their products to the market, or people buy too much and keep it in the fridge and throw it out. So again, not sustainable, and I think that's one of the areas that we really need to look at in terms of immediate interventions. Several of the other panelists have referred to how agriculture and food is obviously related to many other areas of sustainable development. It's related to poverty. Most of the world's most vulnerable populations and poor live in rural areas. It's related to climate change and water. It's related to gender. Women are disproportionately impacted by climate change and the worsening conditions for agriculture and food production, women and children. It's related to health, and I described the pressures on the sort of the health system, hunger, youth unemployment. So it's not sustainable. There is also a silver lining, and I always like to also think about solutions and talk about those, not just problems and how big and overwhelming they may be. If we change the way that food is produced, consumed, regulated, financed, commercialized, we could be adding $10 trillion in terms of value. Whereas right now we're losing value in how the world food system is organized. That would mean what? Changing how food is produced, investing, for example, in technology, monitoring the soil and the weather conditions so that you can better target irrigation and treatments for the soil or the plants. Using technology to become more efficient, again, in how we produce and how we distribute the food. R&D, CGIAR and many of those institutes obviously invest constantly in researching and developing more resistant types of crops and rice and so on and so forth. And changing a lot of the incentives, the subsidies from the monolithic large farms, highly dependent on pesticide use linked to massive deforestation, to investing in small farmers. I don't say that because, like I said, I wear the hat of a small farmer myself, but I really do think it's one of the keys. They produce a lot of the food that we use. It will lead to addressing many of the other areas that I've described. People would not have to leave and move from the villages to the cities and corroborate those problems. Invest in monitoring, for example, much better how food is transported and what gets lost. We also bear the responsibility as consumers of choosing better, eating more local food, eating food that is in season then, not demanding that I get my fruits and my corn when it's not in season in my part of the world and it travels from Peru and Chile all the way to India or Europe. So eating the whole farm to fork, farm to table movement, right? Eating more local food, eating food that is produced more sustainably or organic farming, eating food that is in season, avoiding food waste, changing diets, of course, less red meat, and a bit of adapting in terms of how we eat. And finally, education. It's always a big one for me. So teaching children how food is produced, the difficulties in producing food, what is nutritious and what is not, the problems associated with wasting food, and teaching farmers, right, how to adapt, how to produce more resistant crops, how to get their products to the market, how to monitor weather conditions. So I do believe that a big answer to this also lies not just in changing financing mechanisms and investing in technology and R&D, as I've said, but also in education. And I think in that sense, we all have a role to play. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You actually covered it all. You talked about hunger to nutrition to weather and, of course, the solutions coming along with it as well. Well, yes, eating locally, eating seasonal is something that we keep talking about at all times. You talked about weather, and this time around in India, we say that the rain god is Indian because we've had such good rain this time around. But with that, let's invite Mr. Eknath Dawale, and let's understand on, because Ramona talked about one thing, Mr. Dawale, and that was about governance, subsidies, the right incentives. And when it comes to India, are we doing enough?
Yeah, good evening. So I think when we talk about the climate changes and sustainable agriculture, so this has to be considered as a climate change as a major threat to the agriculture. So we need to think on the part of the how agriculture could be a climate resilient agriculture. From that point of view, Government of Maharashtra has taken an initiative and started one project called as a project on a climate resilient in agriculture in 2018. So after implementation of this project for 5 years, the result were phenomenal. We have seen that how the drought proofing could be done. The investment in a drought proofing will multiple the agriculture productivity has been shown. Secondly, the use of a technology, particularly when we talk about the climate resilient on the part of the availability of the technology, then we need to see that how the various varieties available will lead to the terminal, this thing, the short duration or the long duration, which will basically compensate the dry spell or the wet spell, because both phenomena is related to both. So that has also been shown this one. When we talk about ease of doing business, I think most of us, we should talk about ease of doing agriculture. And that is the one thing which we talk about the mechanization and making the agriculture more easier. Then this project which Government of Maharashtra implemented has shown that how the small implements and small agriculture mechanization make the things more easy. Mr. Borsawale also pointed out that one. And the term used jugaad, when we talk about this one, that jugaad type of the new this innovation could be used in agriculture at the small farm sector. So that has been shown great. I think with this initiative, World Bank also extended the support to start this project in the second phase. And there probably will be in the second phase of the project climate agriculture with the help of the World Bank. Second take, I think, which when we talk about the food security, we need to think that from India point of view, in last 10 years, I think in 2015, the food per capita food grain availability was something around 415 gram. Now it's around 406 grams. Over the period of a 10 year, we increase it 100 gram per capita. But the major threat to the food security is our nutrition management. And if we talk about the nutrition management, it is more highly dependent on the traditional micronutrient, that is NPK. And the global scenario, if you are seeing, then the dependency on the nitrogen, particularly availability of the ammonia and prices of the nitrogen-based fertilizer, has shown if you see the fluctuation in 2022, the prices were skyrocketing. And the countries like as developing countries or the country which is fully dependent on that type of the nutrition management, if you see the 2023 actual budget of this one, Government of India, 2.53 lakh crore was the subsidy which was, paid for this particular. On the similar point of view, they see phosphate and the potash. The country like India is a completely 100% is the import of the potash. Now, if that is the scenario, And if you compare it with the oil and the fertilizer, we had talked a lot about oil and we diversified from oil to the green energy. Similar is the threat to the agriculture if you couldn't diversify from the traditional NPK to the some new technologies, the fixation of the nutrient, what Mr. Bharsawale had said about the regenerative agriculture and similar type of the technologies. I think the major threat of the agriculture will be on that part, and the food security not only for India as a global will be all the threat. That is the 2 points. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dawale. And that was indeed a point that you made there about nutrition, fertilizers, and of course, not just increasing it per gram in sense of capita, but nutrition as well. Thank you so much. I would now invite Mr. Paul Blumendale to talk about on what he believes is the way forward when it comes to food security.
A bit taller than most, but namaskar. Thanks for being here. It feels It feels a little bit like that post-lunch slot at the last day of a conference where everything has been said by all the rock stars before you, where everybody is waiting for the actual moment when the award show comes or people start talking about prices. But that's my bad luck, and I'm not the last one, so I'm going to keep it relatively short. And I'm going to recap a little bit of some of the most major points that I've heard here so far on the panel already. And this afternoon we had a fantastic meeting with the World Agricultural Forum. We discussed the needs around the world, how to bring everything together, how to bring the various NGOs together, the governments together, the commercials together, and making sure things are going to change in terms of a better food security for all. But to start with the good thing, and you mentioned it just now, if there's 30% food waste, that's the easiest way to feed the world, right? Let's get rid of the food waste. Reduce it to 20%, you can feed 10% more people, or even a little bit more. Your point, you said, well, there's going to be a multiple of the amount of people. Actually, it's going to cap out around 9.5 to 10 billion people in 2035. So we don't have to worry too much about it, as long as we stick to a few of the major things. And when I'm asked to speak about this, I normally use 4 different words: yield, inclusiveness, digitization, and controlled free trade. And I'm going to very briefly explain all of them. I want to start with inclusiveness, because that's exactly what you brought up. I'm very happy that you didn't speak in English, right? If you want to talk to the people that need to make a change, you need to connect with them. You need to speak to them in their own language. You need to follow up with them. For those of you who don't know me, I've lived 3 of my best years here in Mumbai. I was running a company at the time called r-๒०२४, which is now Patanjali. And I was in charge of all the commercial business for them. And what we did a lot, we changed it by going into the mandis, bringing an iPad with them, and in Hindi, in Marathi, in all the other languages, discuss with the farmers how much they produce, how much they wanted to sell. And that came together in a very clear production number that was another number than the 5 companies that were just mentioned, right? We need to share and we need to get this business going. So to get the inclusiveness going, we need to teach people. We need to train them, and we need to pay them fairly. And like one of us this afternoon said, we need to make farming and we need to make agri cool again, right? If we have an average age of 62, like we just learned, and it can become 35, that's what we need to do. Get more farmers in, get people interested to participate in the trade, and get them to be fairly rewarded. The second thing is yield. I spoke at a conference 2 months ago in Delhi. It was the IFPA conference. It was about edible oils. That's my background. And it was the very first time. I've been coming in India since 2006. And I lived here from 2012 to 2015. And I absolutely loved it. But the forbidden word at the time was a non-GM production, right? No one wanted to speak about it. And I never thought it would happen. But in June, July this year, it was actually discussed with the highest level of the edible oil industry. How can we increase yields? It's not about just trucks and fertilizers. It's about taking in best practice from around the world and making it work that way. So that's something that can really help. Yields in India have grown massively, 200-300% since I started coming here, but they're still at a quarter of the global yield. So if we can increase that, and we do it not just in India, but we do it in sub-Saharan Africa, we do it in all the emerging markets where there's a lot of population, where we don't lose too much from transportation, that's the first pickup. Inclusiveness I've discussed. Digitization. If you get the right information, you can make controlled decisions. You can know when to harvest, you can know when to sow, you can know when to add fertilizers to it. But you need to know what's being traded. You need to know what comes to the mandi. And for that, you need to have a digital pricing platform. A digital pricing platform will cut out not just the middleman, but it will cut out the big multinationals as well. I used to work at the big multinationals. I'm ex-Cargill, I'm ex-Citibank, I'm ex-Cofco. I know exactly how much I am making, or was making at the time, on the back of the farmers, and it's unfair. So if you are a local farmer community, like we have here in Maharashtra or in the whole of India, if you digitize your price discovery and you get the fair pricing going for the farmers, they will see a higher yield on their income, they will see a higher yield on their farm, and as a result, everybody prospers very fastly. And the last point is actually something that you just mentioned at the last point, about controls, about free trade. The biggest thing you can have as a country like India that is still depending in bad monsoon years of imports. On edible oils, you're still depending for 50% of your imports. Make sure you have the free trade agreements in place. And they are in place in Southeast Asia. They're very, very efficient. They're very effective. But you also need to control them. And I think the brilliant thing that the government of India is doing is to have a free trade agreement, but to shift around with duties. So you have a free trade, but still not completely there. And that's the best way to protect your local interest while at the same time protecting the global interest. So those were the 4 main points that I wanted to bring up. Hopefully I recapped it a little bit and leave something available for the 2 more speakers that are coming after me.
Yes, please. Thank you, Paul. पॉल ने नमस्कार इसलिए बोला क्योंकि वो मुंबई में 3 साल रह चुके हैं. I'm assuming पॉल को नमस्कार से आगे भी कुछ हिंदी के words उन्होंने pick किए होंगे.
I actually understood Hindi quite well when I was
All
here.
Right, good. उनको हिंदी पूरी तरह से समझ में आती है.
So I worked for Ruchi, and Ruchi had about 30,000 employees. And the day I started, everybody had to speak English, but the common language was Hindi. So they had to adjust to me, which is unfair because I am the guest. I came to you guys. And at the point, whenever we had an interesting discussion, at some point they would shift back to Hindi. And I would know exactly, okay, this is an important point. So after 3 years, I never told anyone this. After 3 years, I could actually understand what they were saying. So I was making my notes, and I was actually able to help them a lot
Good
better
for
that
you.
way. But don't ask me to say anything.
पॉल ने यहाँ पर 4 पॉइंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट कहे हैं जो इंडियन एग्रीकल्चर के लिहाज से काफी सही जाते हैं. एक तो इंक्लूजन यानी कि सबका साथ यहाँ पर हो, दूसरा उत्पादन बढ़ाने पे जोर हो, तीसरी बात उन्होंने कही डिजिटल को लेकर जहां पर काफी काम किया जाना चाहिए, और चौथा ये कि बार बार यहाँ पर नीतियां ना चेंज की जाए, बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रोल इसे ना किया जाए और थोड़ा सा फ्री छोड़ा जाए. तो 4 चीजें यहाँ पर हैं. Paul, thank you so much for that, and I will now invite Mr. Hemondel to make your point, please.
Thank you very much. Namaskar to everybody. Indeed, I would like to thank the World Agricultural Forum for initiating this platform on such an important and acute issue, which is affecting not only developing countries, but developed countries as well as SEEDS countries. Small island developing states like Mauritius, I recognize the presence of Seychelles also here, are vulnerable states and are greatly affected by this food security. Now, food security or sustainable development is not the only responsibility of government, but it is the responsibility of everyone. It is a global issue, and when we are talking of globalization, it means the contribution, collective efforts of all the states, of all the government, of all the NGOs, non-governmental organizations, corporates, financial institutions, and all institutions that are involved, whether it is youth organizations, women associations, they should all be invited to participate in this global issue that is food insecurity. Our Secretary General very rightly mentioned about the entrepreneurship that is required to advance the cause. Because it is very clear that you don't become entrepreneur overnight. You need the proper training. You need the capacity building. And this is what is required if you want to achieve food security. Now, food security, you also need technological transfer. Technological transfer from one state where they have developed to those countries where they need that transfer of technology. And also mechanization. Without mechanization, you can't make progress in agriculture. That is very important. And also capacity building. Capacity building is very important in the sense that it creates and it provides incentive. They provide the incentive to the youth, to the women's association to advance the cause or contribute more collectively in this sector. Because you will realize that many people, the youngsters, are going away from agriculture. So I think the proper incentive, if it is provided to the young generation, I think we will be able to achieve what we want in terms of food security. Because time is of essence. We are just left with 6 years to go. And the big target of SDGs, that is SDG 2 and SDG 12, is to end hunger and sustainable consumption. So 6 years is just a little time in the history. So we want action, and action is urgently required to address these issues. Another issue that I want to raise is the wastage. If we just realize how much food is wasted, and if you realize how much food is required in certain parts of the world, I just give you an example in Africa, for example. In Africa, it is worse. Nearly 282 million people, nearly about 20% of the population are undernourished. An increase of 57 million have been added since the COVID pandemic, and 1 in 5 African goes to bed hungry. Can you realize this? So I think that is very essential that proper distribution of food is done so that all sectors, all countries, all regions that are disadvantaged should be provided with the right food, right technology to produce themselves and to create the value chain that is required in the agricultural sector. Another important issue which I want to raise is about nature has been too kind to us. But don't play with nature. Don't destroy nature, otherwise nature will destroy us. I think this is very essential. If we want to preserve, if we want to keep food security intact, we need also to preserve nature, or else nature will never pardon you. So this is the right time. You see the effects of climate change, and it is important that we respect nature, let nature give us the right thing so that we can continue with our food security to address this issue very clearly. So I think food security in the 5 components are very essential of food security, and it all starts with 5A. I mean, accessibility, availability, adequacy, acceptability, and agencies. And I'm very happy to learn that R-2, which is a non-governmental organization, is doing quite a lot for Africa because they have realized the importance of food security, and I wish them well and to continue the work that they are doing so that people live in peace. Without food, you can't be in peace. If there is no food available to your neighbor, you can't rest in peace yourself. Thank you very much.
Mr. Delema, I have a question. You talked about mechanization and importance of that. We do understand that by themselves, farmers can do as much. They're producing food. The cost of production is in any case going higher. How do you see support to these farmers? Yes, by way of education, awareness, hand-holding, but funds. That is something that we see, especially in India, being a slight of an issue here. How is it in various other Asian countries, and how do you see we solve this issue?
I think it's a very important issue. You know, funding, we always, when you see any report, it tells you funds are available in plenty. But accessing those funds, it is so cumbersome that developing countries are not able to have access to these funds. So I think agencies should come forward with such a plan to ease the way, the method they use to provide funds. I think this is very important that agencies, financial institutions should work out such a way that to have access to these funds, it becomes less cumbersome. That is the only way they can have access to the funds. And funds, of course, essential for the production, for mechanization, and for bringing new crops, innovation in this sector.
Thank you so much. We get that point. So clearly, जो कहा जा रहा है वो ये है कि mechanization आगे जाकर बहुत ज़्यादा important होगा. Clearly, एक basic mechanization की बात करें तो शायद वो tractor है, आपके hand pumps हैं, लेकिन बहुत strong तरीके से digitization and mechanization important रहेगा. और जैसे बात की गई कि जी हाँ, हमारी cost of production तो ऊपर जा ही रही है, आपकी लागत ऊपर जा रही है, तो उसके ऊपर किस तरह से funds मुहैया कराए जाएं, वो various agencies को बैठ के सोच विचार करना होगा और ensure करना होगा कि किसानों तक वो पैसा यहाँ पर पहुंचे. आगे बढ़ेंगे और हमारे साथ we have Mr. C.S. Liu now coming on stage to talk about on what his sense is or what really needs to be done.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am from Singapore, the country that faces the greatest food security and water security, right? So we don't have land to grow food. 90% of the food that we eat in Singapore is imported, and the government wants to increase that to 30%. And how can we do that? It's almost impossible, right? So the government encourages rooftop farming, indoor farming, right? And plant-based meat, alternative proteins. But I think, in my opinion, that will not solve the problem because, you know, people are used to eating real food, right? So for that, I have to say, if I want to use India as an example, how food security is being addressed, I have to say India is an amazing country. From the 50s and 60s, ship to mouth, okay? In the 50s and 60s, it's ship to mouth, meaning you get a lot of food donated to you during those days. But today, India is a food export powerhouse. 50 billion US dollars of food is exported out of India, right, today. And India is also the largest food exporter in terms of rice. 11 billion US dollars worth of rice is exported. What does that mean? Does that mean that there's no room for improvement? Lots of room for improvement. I was over in Gujarat just 2 weeks ago, and I could see that yield of many crops are way below the top yielding countries in the world for the same crops. So if India can improve yield alone, your $50 billion worth of exports will be $100 billion, $200 billion. Right? So there's a lot of room for improvement just by changing some cultural practices. Instead of flooded, irrigated rice, you can actually grow rice on an upland basis, right? Using drip irrigation and mulching. As simple as that, right? A lot of people in India are saying, yes, CS, you just told us that India is the largest rice exporter in the world, 11 billion US dollars, but do you know that we're exporting precious water, you know, of India overseas? Now, you don't have to export precious water. You don't have to use so much water to grow rice. You can actually do drip irrigation, right? And drip irrigation is still, you know, the penetration is still very low in India in spite of government incentives for farmers to convert to drip irrigation. And also I saw in Gujarat 2 weeks ago, crops like banana, sugarcane, okra, it's all furrow irrigated, right? Lots of water being wasted. You can actually use drip irrigation, right? So this is what I say to everyone. You know, it's as simple as converting it to drip irrigation and plastic mulching. That is what I call low-tech, high-impact, super returns kind of technology. We're not talking about AI. We're not talking about drones. We are not talking about, digital agriculture, blockchain. We don't need all that. It's as simple as just changing some cultural practices. So, in my opinion, we have no problem feeding 10 billion, 9 billion, 10 billion people by 2050, simply because there's still a lot of scope to grow more without actually increasing agricultural production using more land. But just on the land alone, did you know that 60% of the world's arable land that is not yet tapped lies in sub-Saharan Africa? And there are millions of hectares more in Brazil. We're not talking about tearing down the Amazon forest to grow more. So we don't need to even grow more to feed the 9 or 10 billion people that we're going to have by 2050, right? We just have to increase yield. And there are so many technologies that can do that, right? So, new genomics technology, gene editing, right? And what I had said earlier, low-tech, high-impact, super returns kind of technology. So there are lots of technologies out there that are not even deployable today. They are not deployed simply because the farmers are not getting a return on investment if they were to adopt some of these new technologies, right? So we'll talk about farmer dignity. What dignity that is more important than making farmers earn a good living, right? So the poor farmers need to make a good living. That's the greatest dignity that we can give to farmers, right? But then there's always the conflict, right? If you increase farmer income, then consumers start to complain. We have to pay more for food, right? So there's always this kind of conflicting issues. So overall, I have no issue. I have full confidence that we can feed the additional population, and even then with sustainable agriculture and regenerative agriculture, right? Because of what I said earlier. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So, लियू सिंगापुर से हैं और वो ये कह रहे हैं कि सिंगापुर में 90% जो वो खाना खाते हैं सब इंपोर्ट होता है. तो बेसिकली सिंगापुर ज्यादातर अपना खाना उगाता ही नहीं है और वो ये कह रहे हैं कि इंडिया से $50 बिलियन वर्थ हम यहाँ पर एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं खाना. सो क्लियरली इंडिया जो हम सोचते हैं समझते हैं उससे काफी बेहतरीन कर रहा है. उनका ये भी कहना है कि वो पिछले हफ्ते गुजरात में थे और उन्होंने ये नोटिस किया कि कई बार हम यहाँ पर बात करते हैं कि हाँ पानी की कमी है, खेत में पानी नहीं आया, लेकिन कई जगहों पर ओवर वाटरिंग भी हो रही है, यानी कि पानी वेस्ट हो रहा है जब हम अपने खेतों में पानी दे रहे हैं. तो कुछ एक चीजें हैं छोटी छोटी जो यहाँ पर करेक्ट की जा सकती हैं और उससे काफी बेहतर हम यहाँ पर फसल बनता हुआ भी देख सकते हैं. Actually, you talked about water resources and water mismanagement that perhaps you saw in Gujarat as well. What's your sense on that? Did you speak to those farmers? What are they doing about that?
Yeah, I think if farmers get the right information, this is where our extension service comes in. I think that is still very primitive in many countries, including in India. There's a lot of room for improvement. Extension means getting information down to the farm level. It is a major challenge in India because farms are relatively small, 1 to 2 hectares per farm on average. So reaching out to the millions of farmers, it's a major challenge. So that's why I said, in spite of high government subsidies for drip irrigation, for plastic mulching, the adoption rate is still very low. So you can imagine the vast improvements in yield and in sustainable agriculture that can be achieved if information can get down to the farm level.
Thank you so much for that. Well, there's a lot to pat our backs on, but there's so much still desire to be done. Please take a seat. I'm assuming there's a mic somewhere there which we can perhaps pass on with a question. A lot has been discussed here today. हमने बहुत सारी बातें आज यहाँ पर कही हैं, चाहे वो उत्पादन को लेकर हैं, मौसम को लेकर है, पानी की किल्लत या ज़्यादा पानी की वजह से है, साथ ही साथ क्या फार्मर को, क्या किसान को उसकी लागत यहाँ पर मिल पाती है, क्या आप प्रॉफिटेबल हैं, क्या आपके बच्चे अब यहाँ पर किसान बन के आ रहे हैं, खेतीबाड़ी करना चाहते हैं, कितना पैसा यहाँ पर है, अगर आप मैकेनाइजेशन की तरफ जाना चाहें, नए इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स, नए चीजें यहाँ पर लेना चाहें तो क्या इनफ पैसे हैं आपके पास? क्या आपको पैसा मिलता है? क्या वो रेट सही है, इंटरेस्ट रेट जिस पर आपको मिलता है? काफी सारी चीजों की बात आज यहाँ पर हुई है, एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट की, गवर्नेंस की, सरकार की नीतियों की, कितना आपको इंसेंटिवाइज किया जाना है, चाहिए सब्सिडीज. सो वी हैव स्पोकन अबाउट अ होल होस्ट ऑफ थिंग्स अराउंड हियर. If we can pass on the mic, Mr. Mona, from you onwards, on what is that one thing that you think needs to be done at priority? I understand there are 5 A's and there are perhaps 10 things on the list here right now on what really needs to be done. But what do you think is the pressing need, the number one priority?
I think it will vary in different parts of the world, and some of us have referred specifically to Africa or South Asia or East Asia or Eastern Europe. So I think that, and globally, right, what do we do at the global level through a forum such as this one? So I think that answer may depend a little bit on the region and perhaps the type of crop that we are talking about. But for me, the priority would be, and the first thing to look at is in changing the financing system and the incentives thereof. And I'm talking both about domestic financing as well as global financing.
Okay, so Mr. Mona ने हमें ये बोला है कि सबसे टॉप चीज जो उन्हें लगती है, अगर हम फूड सिक्योरिटी की बात करें, एग्रीकल्चर की बात करें, किसानों की बात करें, तो वो है फंडिंग, यानी कि पैसे की उपलब्धता, कि वो हमें मिलना चाहिए, आपको मिलना चाहिए, ताकि उसके बाद यहाँ पर बाकी सारे काम वो हो सकें जो एज ऑफ नाउ यहाँ पर रुके हुए हैं.
Thank you. I think lots of things have been said, but we at the African Asian Rural Development Organization, we are championing technology diplomacy. So we need that exchange of technology. We need technology to be parked in one place, especially those good ones. We've seen examples also here. These have to be parked and easily accessible, and it should be affordable to farmers who are going to group themselves. This will be very important. Thank you.
Oh, well, absolutely. कई बार आप लोग देखते हैं कि टेक्नोलॉजी, कोई देश ये चीज बना रहा है और ये कुछ कर रहा है और आपको उससे सीखना चाहिए. बात ये होती है कि वो ये सब चीज कर रहे हैं, लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी क्या हमसे शेयर की जा रही है, क्या हमारे लिए उपलब्ध कराई जा रही है? तो वो सेकंड पॉइंट है यहाँ पर कि जो डेवलपमेंट्स हैं, जो टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं, जो मैकेनाइजेशन है, वो सबके साथ यहाँ पर उस कम्युनिटी में शेयर किया जाए ताकि सभी उसका लाभ उठा सकें. ये इनकी प्रायोरिटी है.
Yeah, I agree with him. Exactly. The technology should be such where it is affordable, it's easy, and should give happiness to the farmer. Farmer's happiness is most important. If farmer is happy, able youth is already coming. This is what I'm experiencing. If able youth comes, the problems start falling. Thank you.
ये तो आप कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं.
अच्छा, मी असं म्हटलं की ह्या सगळ्या हा जो प्रश्न आहे जगाच्या पुढे फार महत्त्वाचा प्रश्न आहे, म्हणजे अन्न निर्मिती आणि ते सुद्धा आता जे हवामान बदल हा जो प्रश्न आहे, ह्या हवामान बदल आणि अन्न निर्मिती हे दोन प्रश्न सोडवण्यासाठी सक्षम तरुणाई ही शेतीकडे यायला पाहिजे. आणि सक्षम तरुणाई शेतीकडे येण्यासाठी त्याचं काम सोपं झालं पाहिजे, त्याला निश्चितपणे फायदा झाला पाहिजे आणि ते काम करत असताना त्या तरुणाईला प्रतिष्ठा मिळाली पाहिजे असं माझं म्हणणं आहे. आणि शेतकरी आनंदी होणं हे सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची गोष्ट आहे.
Yeah, so my fellow panelist here is always talking about happy farmers. In my view, farmers will be happy if they can make some, decent money from farming, toiling out in the hot sun, right? So I always say over and over again, everybody goes to the farmer and say, buy this, you will increase your yield 10, 20%. And, there are 20, 30, 50 salesmen going to him saying the same thing. Why can his yield, go up by 200, 300, 400%? No, right? So ultimately, it's return on investment. Always. Farmers are all entrepreneurs, be it in India or anywhere else. They are businessmen. They know if they can make a decent return on investment, they're going to use your products and use your technology. So most importantly, if farmers are not happy, farmers are not making money, we are all in trouble.
राइट तो प्रायोरिटी ये है कि किसान पैसा बनाए. अगर हम खुश किसान देखना चाहते हैं तो वो किसान तभी खुश होगा जब उसको लाभ मिलेगा, जब वो जो लागत है उसके ऊपर उसको पैसा मिलेगा और वो आगे प्रगति कर पाएगा, तो तभी किसान खुश रहेगा और तभी हम भी खुश रह सकते हैं. Before we go on, I mean, I can see myself here on the board, so let me tell you one thing. You know these earrings that I'm wearing? They're bamboo.
Very
World
nice.
Bamboo Day. So yeah, I got them gifted by Pasha Bhai, and he's got it gifted by his guests from her. And amazing work, and these are bamboo. Just wanted to tell you.
And it's one of the best products in terms of recyclability and
It is.
reusability, so well done.
Not recycling it, but yeah.
Well, I'll give you my top 5 of most crucial parts to keep the world fed. And the top 3 is pretty similar. It's yield, yield, and yield. That's basically the only thing that matters. They take gold, silver, and bronze. Number 4 is the reduction of crop losses that we've discussed extensively. And number 5 is the inclusiveness of financial inclusiveness by digitization. So keeping everybody involved, making sure that their income goes up. As a result, they will reduce more in terms of losses and they will have higher yields as a result.
Okay. So उन्होंने बोला कि 5 चीजें यहाँ पर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, प्रायोरिटी पे हैं, लेकिन 5 चीजें उन्होंने कहा उत्पादन ही है, बिकॉज इसको बढ़ाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. जैसे ही ये बढ़ेगा आपकी जो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी है वो अपने आप यहाँ पर बढ़ जाएगी. और दूसरी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज ऑफ कोर्स इंक्लूसिविटी है कि जो भी सारे काम हो रहे हैं वो इन्फॉर्मेशन क्लियरली पास हो और आप सब उसका हिस्सा बने.
Thank you. It is very, very important to treat agriculture as agribusiness in letter and spirit. Whether it is policy or programs or education or extension or finance, in all aspects, agriculture should be treated as agribusiness. That is number 1. Number 2, we have to train farmers as entrepreneurs who always think about making profit and working out cost-benefit ratio just like other entrepreneurs in other sectors. Then only we can create rich agriculture and happy farmers. Thank you.
Very, very well said that, by the way. तो अगर आप खेती में हैं, अगर आप एग्रीकल्चर में हैं, अगर आप किसान हैं, तो आपको उसको एग्रीकल्चर बिजनेस के तौर पर देखना चाहिए. जैसे ही आप उसे वैसे देखना शुरू करेंगे, आप देखेंगे कि आपकी इनपुट कॉस्ट क्या है और आपको उसका आउटपुट क्या यहाँ पर बनता है. आपको एग्रीकल्चर को एज एंटरप्रेन्योर्स यहाँ पर देखना चाहिए. वही एक तरीका है आगे जाके प्रगति करने का, अपने प्रॉफिट्स भी देखने का और ऑफ कोर्स प्रॉस्पर करने का. Oh, you have a mic of your own.
It was still here. Yes, thank you. Yes, I made already clear in my first intervention that, in fact, we are now looking for a situation where within the next coming 40 years, we have to double at least the food production globally. And that is an enormous challenge. But it is not impossible. And we demonstrated that with green revolutions in the past. And the fathers of the Green Revolution, Norman Borlaug and Professor Swaminathan, were serving that extremely well by promoting varieties, technology, and interventions which led to higher yields per hectare, per man-hour, and per external input. That is critical also for the near future. And I made already clear that there are some other mega trends, such as broadening the objectives, also the environment and the landscapes, etc. And certainly also accepting that farming is not only entrepreneur, but it is also someone who is innovating. Innovations take place not only at the universities. More than 50% of all innovations are done by farmers in their own fields. And we have to realize that that should be facilitated, promoted, and stimulated. That's what I think is very necessary. And that requires also the younger generation to go into farming. It's a very, very attractive profession. It is not a simple activity, it's a complicated activity. So that's why I think it's so important to have them in the fields and also working in an adjusted way. And I also see that it is very important that you are serving preventive medical care by having the right diet, but also the right means to control pests and diseases in man. And finally, the bio-based economy. So there are enormous challenges, enormous possibilities, and it would be very attractive for the farmer community to take these challenges and deliver in due course. It is urgently needed, and I hope that the next generation or the coming generations are willing to accept that challenge and are getting to a situation that there is no hunger in the world and there is peace. Hunger or food is the most important factor to eliminate situations of war and create more peace. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're very, very well said that. अगले 40 सालों में जो खाना एज ऑफ नाउ उत्पादन होता है उसको डबल करना होगा जिस तरह की हमारी पॉपुलेशन होगी और वो काम किसान कर सकते हैं. दूसरी चीज जो उन्होंने काफी इंपॉर्टेंट कही वो ये कि जो 50% से भी ज्यादा इनोवेशंस होते हैं, नई नई तकनीकें निकाली जाती हैं, मौसम को जो आप अडॉप्ट करते हैं वो किसान करते हैं और अपने खेत में करते हैं. तो सबसे बड़े इन दैट सेंस इनोवेशंस जो हैं वो आपके खेतों से यहाँ पर आते हैं. और तीसरी बात उन्होंने ये कही कि अपनी नई जनरेशन के लिए आपको यहाँ पर कुछ और देके जाना होगा ताकि वो यहाँ पर आए, नए इनोवेशंस करें, और नई जनरेशन जब यहाँ पर आएगी तो वो किसान को, खेती को कहाँ लेकर जाएगी, वो यहाँ पर एक सोचने वाली बात आगे जाकर रह सकती है. तो ये 3 इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें टूडी की तरफ से आई हैं.
Yeah. Doubling the production globally is such a formidable challenge. And I like what have been highlighted by our farmer panelists. I want the farmers to be happy always, okay? So having said that, there are 4 major areas to sustain the empowerment of the farming community. And what are these 4 areas? Number 1, their access and use of relevant technologies, the very important technologies that can really up productivity. Number 2, they should be supported strongly in terms of institution building. I mean, producers, marketing organizations, cooperatives have to be done in a big way because we want the farmers to have a good leverage. For them, once they are properly organized, they can stand strongly and be partners with big business, So there are many objectives of why collective action is necessary. The third area is in terms of, once they are properly organized, they can leverage with the market. They can dictate their prices. So, of course, at the end of the day, profits will be much higher. And the fourth area is in terms of accessible and affordable credit programs for the farming community to access from now and then. So I believe, again, making farmers happy will be very important.
All right, absolutely, very well said. Making farmers happy in certain ways, as has been said. जो यहाँ पर अब कहा गया कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन काफी जरूरी है. ऑफ कोर्स एफपीओस के माध्यम से और काफी सारे किसान एक साथ में काम करते हैं, तो एक ऑर्गेनाइज तरीके से अगर हम काम करें तो हम जो बड़ी कंपनीज हैं उनको टक्कर दे सकते हैं. हम किस तरह से अपने माल को मार्केट करते हैं, ब्रांड करते हैं, ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, अगला स्टेप काफी हद तक किसानों के लिए वो होने वाला है और वहां से हम यहाँ पर आगे जाकर उन्नति प्रगति कर सकते हैं.
The big challenge for world agriculture is climate change. No nation can escape. And in order to adapt, to mitigate, we need concerted effort of all nations. We need to join hands in developing new technology. We need to join hands to create good market for farmers. We cannot request farmers to sacrifice their income to reduce emission. We need to assist them to apply resilient farming techniques to reduce emission, but at the same time still increase their income. We need to join hands.
थैंक यू. ऑफ कोर्स सारे के सारे लोग किसानों के फेवर में ही बात कर रहे हैं और इन्होंने ये कहा है कि अगर एमिशंस हैं, कुछ कंसर्न्स हैं, तो उसके लिए किसानों को यहाँ पर दोषी नहीं ठहराया सकता. किसानों के साथ हमें काम करना चाहिए, इंश्योर करना चाहिए कि किसानों के पास वो सारी सहूलियतें हों, इंश्योरेंसेज हों, हम उनके साथ खड़े हों ताकि वो आगे जाके प्रगति कर सकें.
I feel that agriculture, and we know very well, agriculture contributes a lot to the growth of an economy, and it is also a very important pillar of the economies of many countries, including Mauritius, of course. Now, what we feel is that they need to have access to funds. This is very important. Second, research and development, which is as important as finance. Because if the research and development is done and is shared among all the countries, whether developing countries, developed countries, they share these information and knowledge, that would be very helpful for the farmers. Now the third, farmers, they themselves are like plants. When you grow up a plant what it needs? Water. It needs ingredients. So in the same way, farmers do need, as the plant grows, you need water. So farmers also need these ingredients to grow. And we need to keep the farmers happy. It is only then that farmers can grow. Farmers are happy. They contribute more to the economy. And they do as much as they can for the growth of this sector. I think these are some of the ingredients that they need. And without these ingredients, they cannot grow, like the plants. Thank you.
That was an amazing example there. So, इन्होंने कहा है कि किसान खुद एक पौधे की तरह हैं और जिस तरह से पौधे को काफी कुछ देना पड़ता है, चाहे वो फर्टिलाइजर है, पानी है, उसी तरह से किसान को काफी सारी जरूरतें होती हैं, फिर चाहे वो एजुकेशन है, फंड्स है, नॉलेज है, डिजिटाइजेशन है. और अगर किसान यानी कि उस प्लांट को हम ये सब कुछ देंगे तो ऑफ कोर्स वो आगे जाके फलेगा फूलेगा और उसके ऊपर काम किया जाना चाहिए.
I think 2-3 important points what other panelists also mentioned that requires the capital investment in agriculture. The sector, at least in India, which is growing less than 4%, how it could be sustained to have the interest rate of 12% and above. So in that scenario, we need to have the mechanism where we could get the subsidized capital to investment in the agriculture. This is one point where we can see the phenomenal changes in the, not only the pre-production stages, but post-production also we can have that type of this mechanism. Second thing which I believe that the price stabilization of the agro commodities is a key factor. If you see the vulnerability of the prices and then the impact on the farmers is very phenomenal. Worldwide we are seeing that the most of the farmers are agitating for the better remunerative prices of their commodities, and that could be only possible through the stabilization mechanism of this one. That could, the state support is the key role into that part. Third point, which I believe that now if you see the worldwide, there is a stagnation on the productivity part because after green revolution and hybridization, we could not have shift to the another orbit of the productivity. Now I think gene editing and the technologies like this, so probably we could make some breakthrough into that. Then the less people will be produce more, and that could be used, the extra people could be used for the other sector. I think these 2-3 points which will make agriculture more attractive in future.
सर आप तो हिंदी में भी बता सकते हो.
नहीं, 2-3 चीजें इसमें है कि एक तो खेती में आता मराठीत तिथं आहेत बसलेले सोयतन शेतीमध्ये मूळ मुद्दा आहे की जी गुंतवणूक आहे ती फार कमी प्रमाणात आहे. ज्या सेक्टरची ज्याची मुळात वाढ जी आहे ती 4% पेक्षा कमी आहे, ते क्षेत्र 12% पेक्षा जास्त व्याजदरानं कर्ज घेऊन फार दिवस टिकू शकेल अशातली परिस्थिती नाहीये. म्हणून अशा सेक्टरला ज्याला आपण गुंतवणूक जी आहे शेतीमधली ती 4% पेक्षा म्हणजे त्या रेटनी जर देऊ शकलो तर शेतीमध्ये निश्चित एक बदल होऊ शकेल. दुसरा भाग जो आहे तो नेहमी ज्याच्याबद्दल आपला शेतकऱ्याचा असंतोष असतो तो आहे प्राइसेस, ज्या शेतीमालाच्या योग्य रास्त भाव. तर त्याचं स्टॅबिलायझेशन करण्यासाठी इनबिल्ट मेकॅनिझम, कारण शेवटी दोन्ही इंटरेस्ट आहेत. एक तर प्राइसेस म्हणजे ज्याला म्हणतो कन्झ्युमर आणि प्रोडक्शन करणारा वर्ग, ह्या दोन्हीचं इंटरेस्ट, त्याचं एक मेकॅनिझम असण्याची, स्टॅबिलायझेशन मेकॅनिझम असण्याची आवश्यकता आहे. आणि तिसरा मुद्दा जो आहे तो तिसरा मुद्दा जे न्यू टेक्नॉलॉजीज शेतीमध्ये येतात. कारण आपण हरित क्रांतीनंतर, हायब्रिडायझेशन नंतर व्हेरायटीज आपण जर बघितल्या तर फार काही उत्पादकतेमध्ये बदल झालेला नाहीये. अगदी गेल्या 20 वर्षापासून जर आपण प्रोडक्टिव्हिटी जर बघितली तर ती फार मोठी नाहीये. त्यामुळं आता ज्याला जीन एडिटिंग, आता मध्यंतरी त्याच्याबद्दल GM बद्दल बरेच वादविवाद झाले, परंतु आता जीन एडिटिंगच्या माध्यमातून जर आपण दुसऱ्या टप्प्यात जर आपण ग्रीन रिव्होल्युशनच्या जाऊ शकलो तर कमीत कमी क्षेत्रामध्ये जास्तीत जास्त उत्पादन करून जो सरप्लस मॅनपॉवर आहे तो सरप्लस मॅनपॉवर हा आणखी वेगळ्या प्रोडक्टिव्ह सेक्टरमध्ये डायव्हर्ट करू शकतो, अशी यातली परिस्थिती आहे. हे जर असं केलं तर शेती कदाचित पुढच्या कालावधीमध्ये अट्रॅक्टिव्ह होऊ शकेल. अदरवाईज जे व्हिएतनाम आणि जे सर्वत्र सांगितलं शेती परवडत नाही, म्हणून शेतीमधनं बाहेर पडणारा वर्ग मोठा आहे आणि ही वस्तुस्थिती.
थैंक यू फॉर दैट. तो क्लियरली क्या लगता है सभी कंट्रीज के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स को कि आगे जाकर क्या कुछ किया जाना चाहिए और उनके मेन प्रायोरिटी नंबर्स क्या हैं वो भी उन्होंने हमें यहाँ पर बताए हैं. वी थैंक यू ऑल वेरी वेरी मच फॉर बीइंग पार्ट ऑफ दिस पैनल एंड शेयरिंग योर थॉट्स, योर एक्सपीरियंसेस विद द पीपल हियर. And with that, there's a very happy news to share, by the way. SIDAP and World Agriculture Forum is signing its very first MOU, and this is being done. And for this, I call upon Dr. P. Chandrasekaran and Ms. Leena Jacob, please. Are you not coming? Please come. Mr. M.J. Khan as well, coming on stage. Many congratulations on the second World Agriculture Forum and the first ever MOU being signed. Many congratulations. Yes, we can of course all take our seats, and I will hand it over to Mansi now because there's a very important happening cultural evening happening. Okay.
So thank you, Manisha, and thank you for moderating that absolutely engaging and enriching deliberation. So ladies and gentlemen, very soon we will move on to this special program wherein the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Eknath Shinde ji, will be felicitated with the World Agriculture Prize. So I hope all of you have turned your cell phones to the silent. सगळ्यांनी आपापले मोबाईल फोन सायलेंट वरती टाकले आहेत का? आपल्या सहकार्यासाठी खूप खूप आभार, धन्यवाद. महाराष्ट्रातल्या कानाकोपऱ्यातून आलेल्या सर्व शेतकरी बंधू आणि मोठ्या प्रमाणात भगिनी मला दिसतायत तिकडे, आपणा सर्वांचं मी मानसी सोनटक्के मनपूर्वक स्वागत करते. देवी और सज्जनों, मुझे आशा है आप सभी ने अपने मोबाइल फोन साइलेंट पर रख दिए होंगे. सबके फोन साइलेंट पर हैं? तर सर्वांचं मनपूर्वक स्वागत आहे आप सभी का. मैं मानसी दिल की गहराइयों से स्वागत करती हूं. बस जैसे कि आप देख रहे हैं, थोड़ा हम स्टेज अरेंजमेंट यहां पर कर रहे हैं. As you all can see, we are setting up the stage for a cultural presentation before we move on to the event proper. And all right, ready? आता chairs नहीं है. Okay. Mangalyam lalitaiश्चैव ब्रह्मणो वदनोद्भवम् सुपुण्यं च शुभं च पवित्रं पापविनाशकम्. Presentation. I announce the arrival of Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Eknath Shinde ji. Let us welcome him with a resounding of claps. तालियों की गूंज में स्वागत करते हैं महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री माननीय श्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी का. मंडळी अगदी जोरदार टाळ्यांनी आपण माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महाराष्ट्र श्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी यांचं स्वागत करूया. Could I request everyone to please settle down now? Thank you for the warm welcome. सर्वांना विनंती करते की प्लीज बसून घ्या. आपण जे मनापासून स्वागत केलेलं आहे मुख्यमंत्री साहेबांचं त्याच्याबद्दल धन्यवाद. मी फोटोग्राफर्सना देखील विनंती करते की त्यांनी प्लीज फोटो काढून झाल्यानंतर बाजू व्हावं, कारण आता आपण कार्यक्रमाची या ठिकाणी सुरुवात करतो आहोत. तर मंडळी, अत्यंत आनंदाचा आणि गर्वाचा क्षण आहे हा आपणा सर्वांसाठी, महाराष्ट्रासाठी आणि पर्यायाने भारतासाठी, की आपल्या लाडक्या मुख्यमंत्री महोदयांना आज या ठिकाणी वर्ल्ड ॲग्रिकल्चर फोरमचं वर्ल्ड ॲग्रिकल्चर प्राइज देण्यात येणार आहे. तत्पूर्वी प्लीज बसून घ्या, सर्वांनी बसून घ्या. कार्यक्रम सुरू होण्या अगोदर आपण एक सांस्कृतिक झलक पाहणार आहोत. मांगल्यम ललितैश्चैव ब्रह्मणो वदनोद्भवम सुपुण्यम च शुभम च पवित्रम पापविनाशकम. सरांनी आता सांगितलंय की ते ऑनरेबल गव्हर्नर महोदयांना घेऊन येत आहेत. तर सर्वांनी बसून राहायचंय. प्लीज आपापल्या जागा सोडू नका, कोणीही आपापली जागा सोडू नका. सर्वांनी बसून राहायचं आहे. I announce the arrival of the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Dr. C.P. Radhakrishnan ji. Let us welcome him with a resounding of claps. महाराष्ट्राचे राज्यपाल माननीय डॉक्टर श्रीयुत C.P. राधाकृष्णन जी यांचं आगमन झालेलं आहे. टाळ्यांच्या गजरामध्ये आपण त्यांचं स्वागत करूया. सर्वांना बसून घ्यायची विनंती आहे. आप सभी से अनुरोध है, कृपया बैठ जाएं. तालियों की गूंज में हमने माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय जी का स्वागत किया है और अब हम इस समारोह का शुभारंभ करेंगे. सर्व फोटोग्राफर्सना विनंती आहे, फोटो काढून झाल्यानंतर प्लीज बाजूला व्हा. आपण सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रमाची या ठिकाणी सुरुवात करतो आहोत. आपणा सर्वांच्या सहकार्यासाठी खूप खूप आभार. धन्यवाद. मांगल्यम ललितैश्चैव ब्रह्मणो वदनोद्भवम सुपुण्यम च शुभम च पवित्रम पापविनाशकम. This couplet in Sanskrit translates that presentation of arts is considered to be auspicious to the world. It confers grace, sanctity, and purity. Keeping this well in mind, we will now present Dharti Kahe Pukar Ke, performed by students of Savitribai Phule University, Pune. This is a showcase of a narrative by Mother Earth about the overuse of chemical fertilizers in farming and its ill effects. धरती कहे पुकार के.
मी हजारो वर्षांपासून न थांबता न थकता माझ्या मार्गावर चालत आहे. तुम्ही नव्हता तेव्हाही मी इथे होते आणि भविष्यात तुम्ही नसाल तेव्हाही मी इथेच राहील. पण आता वाटतंय की मी थकत चालले आहे. तुमची भूमाता थकते आहे. रासायनिक खतांचं विष पाण्यात आणि हवेत मिसळत आहे. मी खरंच थकले आहे. माझी माती नापीक होत चालली आहे. मातीतील पोषक द्रव्य संपत चालली आहे. या रसायनांमुळे माझ्या शरीराचा दाह होतोय. माझ्या पिकांचे उत्पादन कमी होत चालले. मी हळूहळू थकते आहे. मला आठवतंय मी पूर्वी खूप सुंदर, खूप आनंदी, नेहमी हसणारी अशी होते. मला अजूनही आठवतंय ते. जुन्या काळी तुम्ही माझे रक्षक होता. तुम्ही नैसर्गिक शेती करायचा. नैसर्गिक शेती ही आपली परंपरा आणि काळाची गरज आहे हे तुम्हाला माहित होतं. आपण पृथ्वीच्या कल्याणासाठी प्रार्थना करायचो. ओम द्यौः शांतिः, अंतरिक्ष शांतिः, पृथ्वी शांतिः, औषधया शांतिः, वनस्पतीय शांतिः. ओम शांतिः शांतिः. सर्वांचे कल्याण हो.
Yes, 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 you are audible, sir. Then Lindway, Majele, Sibanda, right? Who is Sibanda? अच्छा, सिबांडा अजून आलेले नाहीयेत. तुम्ही त्यांना सांगा, हे तुम्हाला सांगतील वर. तुम्ही कम्युनिकेट करा, ओके? त्यांना ऑनलाईन घ्यायचं. मानसी 2
नाइजीरिया, मॉरिशस, घाना, इथियोपिया, जाम्बिया, गाम्बिया, जिम्बाब्वे, तांजानिया, सिंगापुर, बेल्जियम, फिलीपींस, जॉर्डन, ब्रूडी, लेसोथो और मंगोलिया। एक आदमी का सत्कार करने आए हैं, उस आदमी का नाम एक नाथ शिंदे है। राजनीति में बहुत आगे हम पहुंच जाते हैं। महाराष्ट्र आजाद हुए जब से सारे मुख्यमंत्रियों के नाम बोले तो इसमें का कोई भी नहीं बोलेगा। लेकिन कुछ नाम ऐसे होते हैं, वो चाहे जीवित हो या न रहो, दुनिया डूबे तो उसका नाम लिया जाता है। उसके नामों में आपका नाम बोला जाएगा। उसकी वजह यह है, मूल चीजें समझ के उसके ऊपर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करने का काम कोई तो करना चाहिए। आपने किया, सारे महाराष्ट्र और सारे देश के लोगों की ओर से। वैसे तो मुसलमान हो, पैर नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन मैं आप उस काबिल है कि आपके पैर पड़ना चाहिए। की तरफ से आपका तहे दिल से शुक्रिया अदा करता हूँ और मुझे आगे के मैं भाइयों, आज इंटरनेशनल बांबू डे है। आप किस मौके पे भारत आए हैं? आप उस मौके पे आए हैं जिस दिन सारी दुनिया बांबू दिन साजरा कर रही है। और मैं तो बांबू के लिए ही जीता हूँ। जितना सिंधी जी का बांबू जरा फर्क है। दोनों में भी एक बात है। सिशेल्स आणि मंगोलिया दोन देश पिछड़ले होने वाली है, किंतु मैं मुन्ना भाई MBBS भाइयों, आज बाबू दिवस है और 53 सालों की टीम जो आई हुई है, वो क्यों आई हुई है? वो आई हुई है इसलिए 2050 में मैं यहाँ स्पीच दे रहा हूँ। गवर्नर साहब, 2050 में यहाँ पे 10 फीट पानी आने वाला है। 10 फीट। मुंबई, चेन्नई, कोची, कलकत्ता, भावनगर, भारतवर्ष के 12 ऐसे कैपिटल समंदर निकलने वाला है। ये क्यों? तापमान बढ़ने के कारण। तापमान बढ़ने के कारण दुनिया में जितने भी हिमनद है वो सब पिघलने वाले हैं और बर्फ का रूपांतर पानी में होने वाला है और पानी का स्तर 10-15 फीट बढ़ने वाला है। ये अगर नहीं होना है तो कुछ लोगों ने काम करना चाहिए। सच तो दुनिया में बहुत बड़े बड़े लोग हैं, वो सुनना चाहिए था, करना चाहिए था। मैं 10 साल से ये चिंता सता रही है मुझे। नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने 2017 में मैं डबलिंग इनकम में मोदी जी के साथ काम किया हूँ। मोदी जी का एक वाक्य सुना मैं, क्या वृक्ष लगाएंगे? वृक्ष कौन सा लगाएंगे? जो वृक्ष अति शीघ्र गति से बढ़ने वाला चाहिए और उसके बहुउपयोग होना चाहिए, ऐसा वृक्ष चुनना चाहिए। मोदी जी ने 2017 में कहा, बांस ये घास है, बांस को घास का मोदी ने। उसके पहले 1927 में अंग्रेजों ने बांस को वृक्ष के कैटेगरी में रखा। बांस के बाद एक जगह से दूसरे जगह ले जाने के लिए फॉरेस्ट ऑफिसर की परमिशन रखी। बात ऐसी होती थी, जमीन मेरी, पौधा मेरा, सिंचाई मैंने की, रखवाली मैंने की, और काटने का वक्त आया तो फॉरेस्ट ऑफिसर बोलता था आधे तेरे आधे मेरे। इसलिए लोगों ने बांस लगाना छोड़ दिया। जब ये मोदी जी के समझ में बात आई, 90 साल के बाद 90 दिन में लोकसभा और राज्यसभा में ये कानून पारित किया और बांस को आजाद किया। बांस आजाद हुआ। बांस महाराष्ट्र में नहीं है, महाराष्ट्र में सिर्फ 3 डिस्ट्रिक्ट में है। एक चंद्रपुर, एक गढ़चिरौली में है, एक सिंधुदुर्ग में है और कुछ पुणे के हिस्से में है। लेकिन अब मैं बड़े गर्व से कहूंगा कि ये बांस सारे दुनिया का नेतृत्व महाराष्ट्र से करेगा। तो फोरम मुंबई में आके एकनाथ शिंदे जी को टिला लगा दिया कि आप इसके नेता है। ये समझता है आपको? अरे क्या ताली बजाते रामदेव बाबा। जनरल थे राजस्थान के, वो किसान है ऐसे लगता है, लेकिन वो किसान नहीं है, वो अटॉर्नी जनरल राजस्थान थे। इतना बड़ा आदमी, लेकिन आज वो किसान का काम कर रहे हैं। मैं कितने नाम है यहाँ पे, इतने मेरे 40 साल से मेरे साथ काम करने वाले देश के हर क्षेत्र से आज लोग मेरे साथ जुड़े हैं और ये सबने मिलकर आज हमने तय किया है कि अब पृथ्वी पे जो मानव जाति बचानी है उसका हम सब मिलकर काम करेंगे। और एकनाथ जी शिंदे ने आज जो रास्ता बताया, सिर्फ रास्ता नहीं तो उनके रास्ते को दुनिया ने सपोर्ट किया और दुनिया सारी बोली कि ये रास्ता ही मानव जात बचाता है। अभी स्टेज पे चर्चा हुई, 2 प्रॉब्लम आ गए। एक बारिश समय पे नहीं आती और दूसरा किसान के खेत में लेबर नहीं मिलता। यहाँ जितने भी लोग बैठे हैं उन सारे विज्ञान, किधर है डॉक्टर चंद्रशेखरा? डॉक्टर किधर है? हाँ डॉक्टर बैठो। सारे डोले साहब किधर है? ये सारे एग्रीकल्चर एक्सपर्ट बोले कि खेत में आदमी नहीं मिलता। मैं आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी की ओर, गवर्नर जी की ओर देख के सारे विद्वान लोगों को एक बात पूछना चाहता हूँ। चंद्रशेखरा जी, तुम्हारे ऑफिस में प्यून है, वो प्यून इधर का गिलास उधर रखता है, उधर का गिलास इधर रखता है, इधर सिपाही उधर करता है, उधर सिपाही उधर करता है। उसको स्किल लेबर कहा जाता है। और जो किसान 8 एमएम लंबा बनाना ग्रेप, क्या 6 एमएम बनाना, क्या 3 एमएम बनाना, संपलो बनाना, लाल बनाना, क्या पीला बनाना, क्या हरा बनाना, इतना करने के बाद उसको अनस्किल लेबर आप बोलते हैं क्योंकि वो छकमारा के लिए की जाएगी। परंतु मी आज बोलणार पर्यावरणावर. मी आता फक्त तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना मराठीमध्ये एकच गोष्ट सांगतो. ब्रेन, हार्ट, किडनी फेल होता है, ऐसा साइंस बोलता है। इस साल दिल्ली में 52.9 टेम्परेचर हुआ, दुबई में 64 हुआ। अब दुबई पे मिसाइल, दुबई के लोग मारना है ना, मिसाइल डालने की जरूरत नहीं, आग का ये सिचुएशन बदलने के लिए डीजल जलाना बंद करना पड़ेगा, पेट्रोल जलाना बंद करना पड़ेगा, लोहा बंद करना पड़ेगा, और भगवान ने जो दी है चीज उसका इस्तेमाल करना पड़ेगा। जैसे कि ना मेरे पास स्टील है, ना मेरे पास प्लास्टिक है, मेरा चश्मा बम्बू का है। मेरे पास वाच है, ये वाच बांस का है। मेरे पास गहने भी है, ये मेरे पास छल्ला है, छल्ला रिंग। और मनीषा गुप्ता किधर गई? किधर आई है मनीषा जी? एक सेकंड मनीषा जी। ये मनीषा जी सीएमपीसी की एडिटर है, और इतनी बड़ी लेडी, इसके कान में बांस डाली है। हमको 7,04,000 रुपए 1 हेक्टर बांस लगाने के लिए देश में पहली बार ऐसा कानून लाने वाला मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी है। देश की सबसे अच्छी बांबू इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी जो 50 लाख से 4,000 करोड़ रुपए तक 50% सब्सिडी देने वाला एक ही मुख्यमंत्री है, एकनाथ शिंदे जी। हो गया मेरा काम खत्म हो गया। हेलो 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 हेलो। तो भाइयों, कार्यक्रम बड़ा लेट हो रहा है, इसलिए मैं सिर्फ आप सब लोगों को एक लाइन में बोलने की, एक ही लाइन बोलता हूं, वो ये है 1750 में ग्लासगो में पहला इंजन बना। इंजन बना किस लिए? कि इंसान को लगने वाली वस्तुएं बनाने के लिए। वो 1750 में जो पहला इंजन घुमा, वो इंजन का रूपांतर इंडस्ट्री में हुआ। वो इंडस्ट्री में कुछ चीजें तैयार हो गई। वो इंजन ने हवा में का ऑक्सीजन खाया, कार्बन छोड़ा, टेम्परेचर बनाया, वस्तु निर्माण किया। अब वस्तु पहनने के लिए पृथ्वी पे मानव जात जीवित नहीं रहेगी, ऐसी सिचुएशन तैयार हुई है। अब हमको करना क्या है? अब हमको इंसान भी जीवित रखना है, उसके लिए वस्तु भी बनाना है, कार्बन भी कम करना है, टेम्परेचर भी कम करना है, और कार्बन खाना है, ऑक्सीजन बनाना है। ये रास्ता हमारे मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी ने बताया है। इनके नक्शे कदम पे हम चलेंगे, और आज से हम सारी दुनिया का नेतृत्व इस विषय में करेंगे। मैं आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी को विनती करना चाहता हूं, सर आइए, आपके आदरणीय महामहिम जी, आप स्टेज पे आइए। आपके हाथों से पृथ्वी बचाने का कार्यक्रम शुरू करेंगे माननीय एकनाथ शिंदे जी के नेतृत्व में। आपके हाथों से आइए।
I invite the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Dr. C.P. Radhakrishnan ji, and the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Eknath Shinde ji, to inaugurate the function by watering the sapling. Along with them, I will also invite Professor Rudy Rabinge, Dr. M.J. Khan, Shri Pasha Patel, Shri Praveen Darade, Shri Siddesh Kadam, Shri Avinash Dhakne, Dr. William Dar, Dr. Duk Patkau, His Excellency Dr. Manoj Nardev Singh, His Excellency Dr. P. Chandrasekhara, His Excellency Mr. Heyman Doyle Dillam, His Excellency Mr. Ganbold Dambaja, His Excellency Percy Chanda, His Excellency Demeke Atanafu Ambulo, His Excellency Xavier Polinich, Her Excellency Harisoa Lalatiana Akushe, Her Excellency Advocate Lebohang Valentine Mokaba, His Excellency Ebrima Mbu, Mr. Ahmed Tijani, Mr. Charles Ruanga, Madam Ramona Angelescu, Mr. Francisco Arlia, Mr. Paul Blomendel, Mr. C.S. Liu, Mr. Vasafi Srihin, Ambassador Rajshekhar Chintapalli, and Dr. X. Glory Swarupa. Please join in to do the honors. I request all the esteemed dignitaries and distinguished guests to please take your seats on the dais. I request all the jury members from across the globe to please take your seats on the dais. Yep. Could I request Mr. Vishal Mehta to please join us on the dais? Mr. Vishal Mehta. Welcome, sir. So very good evening, everybody, once again. On behalf of the World Agriculture Forum, Indian Chamber of Food and Agriculture, and the local organizing partner, Phoenix Foundation, it gives me, Manasi, immense delight in extending a hearty welcome to all of you esteemed dignitaries, distinguished guests, invitees who are present here, especially the honorable ministers, ambassadors, Padma awardees, MPs, MLAs, MLCs, secretaries, industrialists, vice chancellors of agriculture universities of the state, farmers and women from across Maharashtra for this extremely special event organized to felicitate Shri Eknath Shinde ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, with the 2nd World Agriculture Award. We will commence with the national anthem. Kindly rise in its honor.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा चञ्चल जलधितरङ्गा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशिष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind, please be seated. At the outset, I will call upon Dr. William Dar, Vice Chair, Asia World Agriculture Forum, for the welcome address.
His Excellency Governor of Maharashtra, Sri C.P. Radhakrishnan, His Excellency Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Sri Eknath Shinde, other Excellencies, distinguished guests, leaders, farmers, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Like all of you gathered here today, I'm honored to see some familiar faces, some not, but all who share a common cause, a transformative global agriculture economy. It is my privilege to welcome you to this monumental gathering, the second run of the World Agriculture Prize 2024. We just conducted a very successful Borlaug colloquy on global food security and sustainable development. This assembly is inspired by the legacies of two towering world figures, Dr. Norman Borlaug and Professor M.S. Swaminathan, whose work and influence continue to shape the path of agriculture. I was privileged to serve as Director General of the International Crops Research Institute, ICRISAT, based in Hyderabad, India, for 15 years, 2000 to 2014. Allow me to mention that personally, this moment holds deep meaning for me. It was about 10 years ago I had the ultimate honor of my life when I was handed by Dr. M.S. Swaminathan the ICPA Award for Leadership in Agriculture, and in 2022, I was the first awardee of the M.S. Swaminathan Global Leadership for Sustainable Development. Such recognition have since a profound impact in my life, and now I am sharing this with all of you because we carry the same profound moral responsibility to protect and sustain agriculture. For without agriculture, there's no food, and without food, life itself cannot endure. Today, as we celebrate the key movers, leaders in the sector, may we also explore bold solutions, a reminder that we are all interconnected. We are here not just because of our individual achievements, but our collective mission to ensure agriculture remains a top global priority. This means empowering every player in the supply chain, especially our farmers and fisherfolk, and the most vulnerable members of our societies. This means confronting the urgent issue of global food security, a challenge that has become increasingly more complex amid the concerns of climate change, population growth, and geopolitical shifts. This means now laying the foundation for concrete action in the months and years to come. And finally, this means honoring each and every one of you here today, thought leaders, scientists, policymakers, practitioners, advocates, and academicians who have the deepest desires to securing a future where humanity thrives in a sustainable agricultural ecosystem. Let's continue to follow the lead of Dr. Borlaug and Professor Swaminathan, both transformative leaders, both visionaries and action men. At this point, let me warmly congratulate this year's winner of the World Agriculture Prize, Sri Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. The World Agriculture Prize 2024 will drive more real progress. It's also a call to action and more meaningful collaboration. Let's build bridges, create networks, innovate, and increase investments for agriculture. Our world needs this now and more than ever. Thank you, and my warmest welcome to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Dar, for the initial remarks. And now, could I request Sri Pasha Patel, Chairman, Phoenix Foundation and Member, Board of Trade, Government of India, to please greet all the dignitaries on the dais with welcome mementos, beginning with the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Dr. C.P. Radhakrishnan-ji. Please accept this as a token of respect. A bamboo clock representation on the World Bamboo Day. And the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Shri Eknath Shinde ji. I will request Pasha ji to please present these idols of Lord Ganesha to the Honorable Governor and the Honorable Chief Minister as well. This bamboo Ganesha is from Assam, presented by Majili Das. Thank you. Request Shri Pashaji to continue with the welcome mementos to the rest of the dignitaries. Professor Rudy Rabinge, Chairman, World Agriculture Forum and former Minister, Netherlands. Dr. M.J. Khan, Chairman, ICFA and Country Director, World Agriculture Forum. Shri Praveen Darade, Principal Secretary, Environment, Government of Maharashtra. Shri Siddesh Kadam, Chairman, Maharashtra Pollution Control Board. Shri Avinash Dhakne, Member Secretary, Maharashtra Pollution Control Board. Dr. Chandrasekhara, and the rest of the dignitaries present on the dais, Dr. Duk Phat Kao, Board Chair, IRRI, and former Minister of Agriculture and Research Development, Vietnam, His Excellency Dr. Manoj Nardev Singh, Dr. Hemendal Dillam, then we have His Excellency Gambol Dambachao, His Excellency Percy Chanda, His Excellency Demeke Atnafu Ambulo, His Excellency Xavier Polinich, Her Excellency Harisoa Lalatiana Kushe, Her Excellency Advocate Lebohang Valentin Mokaba, Mr. Ebrima Mboob, Mr. Ahmed Tijani, Mr. Charles Ravanga, Madam Ramona Angelscu, Mr. Francisco Arlia, Mr. Paul Blomendel, Mr. C.S. Liu, Mr. Vaspi Shrehlin, Ambassador Raj Shekhara, Dr. S. Glory Swarupa, So after the welcome, we will now play a film on the World Agriculture Prize. I will request you to direct your attention to the screen, please.
Agriculture has been the foremost engagement of human beings since their existence and will continue to be imperative as food is necessary for survival. The agriculture sector continues to be a powerful engine for economic development and social transformation. While 2/3 of the countries in the world depend primarily on agriculture for supporting the livelihoods of their populations, which shows its importance for peace and progress. The individuals and institutions who have contributed to civilizational advancement remain unrecognized at the world level. There are individuals and institutions, governments and corporations, and scientists and policymakers who have played transformational roles in making the planet food and nutrition secure through policies, technologies, businesses, and development interventions. Such outstanding contributors and role models need to be recognized and felicitated at the global level. With this vision to recognize the individuals who have served the humanity through agriculture, Indian Council of Food and Agriculture in 2018 instituted the World Agriculture Prize to be presented to an individual or institution or the government who played seminal role in transforming agriculture and saving the humanity from the curse of hunger. Noted world scientist and UNESCO Chair on Environment and Ecology and pioneer of India's Green Revolution, became the first World Agriculture Prize laureate. The World Agriculture Prize has now been taken over by the World Agriculture Forum, The World Agriculture Prize recognizes the individuals and institutions with exceptionally significant and globally impacting achievements in the field of agriculture, including, but not limited to, environment and ecology, food production and sustainable development, plant and animal science, food science and nutrition, water and natural resource poverty, elimination and rural development through research and technology, development investments or budgetary allocations, policy or program initiatives, industry or agribusinesses, programs or economic interventions, and diplomacy or public advocacy with globally noticeable impact. Welcome to the award presentation ceremony of the Second World Agriculture Prize 2024 here in Mumbai today, the 18th of September 2024.
I will request Pashaji yet one more time to please present a memento to Dr. William Dar, Vice Chairman, Asia World Agriculture Forum and former Deputy General, ICRISAT, and the Secretary of Agriculture, Philippines. Thank you. I will now invite the jury chair, Professor Rudy Rabinge, for the announcement of the Second World Agriculture Prize 2024.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased and I'm very privileged that I might give the observations and the conclusions of the jury for the Agriculture Prize here. And we have all seen that sustainable development and food security is widely adopted and seen as the most important issues in the coming decades. And so it's very nice to know also that many developments are oriented to a productive agriculture with minimal side effects. And so the strategy of the FAO is now optimization and minimization. Optimization means doing the things at the right way, at the right place, with the right means, such that you have optimal productivity. And minimization of the use of external inputs, such that the effects per unit of product are much lower than has been in the recent past. That's what we're trying to do. We are also aware that unsustainability may be due to richdom and maybe due to poverty worldwide, due to richdom, overuse of external inputs, pesticides, for example, underuse of external inputs because you do not have the money to buy it. That is unsustainability due to poverty happening everywhere in the world. And now we are here at a critical moment because in this state, which has the size, which is bigger in number of people than France, Germany, and England together, we have now seen the enormous activity of the leader of this state, and as a recognition to the visionary policies and massive scale of programs related to environment and sustainable development, irrigation and agriculture, bamboo and millets, farming, women empowerment, and rural development initiated by the government of Maharashtra under the visionary leadership of the Chief Minister, Mr. Eknath Shindle, which created massive impact on the ground, empowering the farmers, youth, and rural women. I am pleased to announce that the World Agriculture Forum has decided to confer upon the Second World Agriculture Prize to Mr. Shindle. We are here with our board members and council members from 17 countries to felicitate Mr. Eknath Shindle today with the World Agriculture Prize
$100,000 US. $100,000 US dollars. But as I understand that due to protocol reasons, the Chief Minister is not able to accept cash part. We are honoring him with a beautiful memento made of silver with crystal and gold plating. Let me request the Governor, Dr. Raja Krishnan, and other dignitaries to join me as we present the World Agriculture Prize to Mr. Eknath Shinde.
We will now run the citation on the screen. I will request you to please take a look.
World Agriculture Forum presents the second World Agriculture Prize to Mr. Eknath Shinde, Chief Minister of Maharashtra, India. Climate change has crossed the critical threshold levels, thereby endangering global food security and threatening the survival of humans and other species. According to the UN Secretary General, the era of warming has ended and boiling has begun, that calls for urgent action. The scientists are giving a clarion call to a world which requires immediate and strong actions on the ground. Maharashtra state in India, under the vision and dynamic leadership of the Chief Minister, Mr. Eknath Shinde has shown the way to world on how to fight the climate change through massive scale schemes and innovative developmental programs. The state decided to fight climate change on its own terms by adopting sustainable agriculture development strategies and climate resilient crops, including the world's largest bamboo cultivation program, aiming to cover 2.1 million hectares, and promoting micro-millets clusters on a massive scale. The world is discussing sustainable agriculture as the solution to fighting climate change. The visionary leader decided to confront the challenge using innovative technology solutions, providing nano-fertilizers to over 4.60 million farmers. The state's 123 mega-irrigation projects have brought 1.7 million hectares under assured irrigation. Project on climate-resilient agriculture with an allocation of $1.2 billion further demonstrate the commitment of the government to make agriculture more resilient and sustainable. The Chief Minister, Mr. Eknath Shinde, is turning the adversities into opportunities and creating the green gold-led evergreen revolution in agriculture and to bring about rural prosperity and smile on the face of every farmer. The world is talking about the impact of climate change, but Mr. Shinde government realized the danger and with a sense of urgency took upon the task of translating talk into action on the ground through innovative means and measures, creating massive impact and giving the world a unique model to fight challenge of climate change to save the planet, plants and humans.
Time now for presentation of the award. I request the jury chair, Professor Rudy Rabinge, to please do us the honors. This, as you can see, is the award trophy. And the citation that we just saw and heard on the screen. Moments to be treasured in the form of photographs. Let us decorate them with a thunderous round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I also take the opportunity to repeat, as Professor Rabinge just mentioned, that due to protocol reasons, Shri Eknath Shinde ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, will not be accepting the cash component, which is $1 lakh US. So hearty congratulations. And now, the acceptance speech by the Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Sir, could I request you for the acceptance speech, please? Let us have a resounding of claps for Shri Eknath Shinde ji.
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की जय भवानी. खरं म्हणजे आज दुसरा जागतिक कृषी पुरस्कार 2024. खरं म्हणजे मी अनेक पुरस्कार द्यायला असतो, पण आज मला पुरस्कार मिळालेला आहे. आणि आजच्या या पुरस्कार सोहळ्याला उपस्थित आपले महामहिम राज्यपाल C.P. राधाकृष्णनजी, श्री रुडी रॅबिंग चेअरमन वर्ल्ड ॲग्रिकल्चर फोरम, डॉक्टर विल्यम दार वाइस चेअरमन WAF वर्ल्ड ॲग्रिकल्चर फोरम, M.J. खान कंट्री हेड वर्ल्ड ॲग्रिकल्चर फोरम, पाशा पटेल तर आहेतच इकडं, अध्यक्ष राज्य कृषी मूल्य आयोग, त्यांनी मगाशी विदाउट साऊंड सिस्टीम त्यांनी आपली करामत करून दाखवली, पण ते आपली वायर कोणी कापली होती, त्याला एक बांबू कुठलं तरी दाखवायला लागेल. तसं त्यांच्याकडे वेगवेगळ्या व्हरायटीचे बांबू आहेत. आणि खऱ्या अर्थाने म्हणजे किती एका दिवसाला 1 फूट वाढणारा बांबू, पण मला त्यांनी सांगितलं त्याचं नाव आहे भीम बांबू. म्हणजे वेगवेगळ्या व्हरायटी आहेत बांबूमध्ये, आपण कधी विचार पण नाही केला. आणि all ambassadors of various countries, all Padma awardees, farmers, diplomats and other dignitaries, सर्व मान्यवर, सगळ्यांची नावं घेत नाही. आणि खरं म्हणजे आजचा हा दुसरा जागतिक कृषी पुरस्कार 2024चा जो आपल्या राज्य सरकार आणि मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून वर्ल्ड ॲग्रिकल्चर फोरमने दिला, त्यासाठी मी त्यांना मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो, त्यांचे आभार मानतो. आणि हा पुरस्कार जो आहे हा महाराष्ट्रातील जनतेचा आहे, आणि हा पुरस्कार मी शेतकऱ्यांना समर्पित करतो. आपले पाहुणे थोडे सगळे परदेशी आहेत, त्यामुळे थोडं त्यांच्यासाठी मी इंग्रजीमध्ये थोडं बोलतो. At the outset, I welcome all the dignitaries present here for this prestigious award ceremony. I am really grateful to the World Agriculture Forum, especially thanks to Professor Rudy Rebing and President of the World Agriculture Forum for giving me the World Agriculture Award. I dedicate, मी आता मगाशीच म्हणालो त्याप्रमाणे, I dedicate this award to farmers of my state, Maharashtra. There is also coincidence, today is World Bamboo Day. Maharashtra is in process to promote bamboo to to make a new source of income for the farmers. I extend my wishes to all the farmers and officers in the process. Money, gold, property, nothing can be a substitute for the food to satisfy your hunger. That special power is only with the farmer. That's why the farmer is called Annadata. I can proudly say that I am also one of them, a farmer. मी पण शेतकऱ्याचा मुलगा आहे, नेहमी सांगतो, याचा देखील मला अभिमान आहे. I am really happy that 2 months ago I received Agriculture Leadership Awards at the hands of Union Agriculture. Minister Shri Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and today I feel really proud to get this World Agriculture Prize. I am receiving this award on the behalf of all the farmers of Maharashtra. It's because of their dedication and efforts. Maharashtra is selected for this award. I want to mention here that our state Maharashtra is bigger in area, population and economy than many other nations in the world. Our state is the growth engine of our nation, India, Bharat. We are giving the biggest contribution in GDP, foreign direct investment, employment generation and development. Today we are on top in education, healthcare, agriculture and infrastructure. In last week, World Economic Forum founder Mr. Klaus Schwab came to meet me. He signed the MOU with our MMRDA. MMRDA is playing a key role in the development. It's a big achievement for us and our state. महाराष्ट्र में किसान में ऐसी क्या खासियत है? पाशा भाई, आपको पता है, इसलिए आप ये सब पूरे टास्क के पीछे लगे हैं. मेरे ख्याल से वक्त के अनुसार बदलना वे जानते हैं और बदलाव को कभी ना नहीं कहते. ये उनके सबसे बड़ी स्ट्रेंथ है. कम से कम जमीन में ज्यादा उत्पादन लेने का चैलेंज उनके सामने है. मॉडर्न टेक्नोलॉजी को वे अपना रहे हैं और दुनिया के साथ आगे बढ़ना ये भी हमारा वसूल है और एक कंपटीशन का जमाना है, उसमें हमें आगे बढ़ना है. भारत ने खाद्यान्न के मामले में आत्मनिर्भरता हासिल की है. अब अनाज की चिंता खत्म हुई है. मेरे ख्याल से फूड सिक्योरिटी के बारे में आज यहाँ पर चर्चा भी हो चुकी है. लेकिन कृषि और पर्यावरण का संतुलन कायम रखने की चुनौती अभी भी अपने सामने है. वैश्विक तापमान वृद्धि का खतरा सिर्फ भारत पर ही नहीं, पूरी दुनिया पर मंडरा रहा है. मैं पिछले समय जब वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम अटेंड कर रहा था तो वहीं पर मेन इशू ये क्लाइमेट चेंज और ग्लोबल वार्मिंग पे ही था. हमें मिलकर इसका सामना करना पड़ेगा. पर्यावरण के बारे में बार बार होने वाला बदलाव इस संकट का कारण है. मेन बेमौसम बारिश, ओलावृष्टि, तूफान, लैंडस्लाइडिंग, एक तरफ बाढ़ तो दूसरी तरफ सूखा जैसी भयानक स्थिति, ऐसे डबल संकट हमारे राज्य को झेलना पड़ता है, फेस भी करना पड़ता है. इन सबका दुष्परिणाम किसानों को भुगतना पड़ता है. हमारी यही कोशिश है कि किसानों को इन खतरों से निपटने के लिए सहायता करनी चाहिए। हमारी सरकार जो है हमेशा किसानों के पीछे खड़ी रही आहे। आपलं सरकार नेहमी शेतकऱ्यांच्या मागे उभं राहिलंय। एकीकडे काही ठिकाणी दुष्काळ, पण या काही ठिकाणी अतिवृष्टी, अवकाळी पाऊस, पण यावर्षी चांगला पाऊस पडलेला आहे, चांगलं पीक येईल, शेतकरी सुखी होईल अशी अपेक्षा आपण केलेली आहे। देश के प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने पर्यावरण अनुकूल जीवन शैली अपनाने की अपील की। इस अपील के बाद अब हमने महाराष्ट्र के किसानों को सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर की दिशा में ले जाने का प्रयास शुरू कर दिया है। पर्यावरण अनुकूल कृषि तकनीक समय की मांग है। उस संबंध में महाराष्ट्र कई गतिविधियों को लागू कर रहा है। एक उदाहरण मैं यहाँ पर देना चाहूँगा। महाराष्ट्र में बांस की खेती को बढ़ावा देने के लिए हमने एनवायरमेंट टास्क फोर्स बनाया है। ये पहला राज्य है हमारा, और हमारे बाम्बू मैन पाशा पटेल इस कार्यकारी समिति के अध्यक्ष हैं। कैबिनेट मंत्री का दर्जा है भाई उन्हें। He got cabinet minister. हमने 1 लाख हेक्टर में बांस की खेती का लक्ष्य रखा है। ज्यादा है ना हमारा, 21 लाख, और कई जिलों में इसकी शुरुआत हुई है। हमारे सतारा जिला में 10,000 हेक्टर का एमओयू साइन हो गए हैं और बाम्बू प्लांटेशन भी शुरू हुआ है। पूरे स्टेट में, राज्य में 21 लाख हेक्टर बहुत बड़ा मायने रखने वाला प्रकल्प है। यहाँ मेरे सामने कई डेवलपर भी हैं, बैठे हैं, उद्योजक भी है। अभी आपको भी फर्नीचर में बाम्बू का इस्तेमाल करना है। मेरे ख्याल से पाशा जी बेंगलोर और गुवाहाटी एयरपोर्ट में पूरा फर्नीचर बाम्बू का बनाया है। और सभी लोगों का इसमें सहयोग की आवश्यकता है। हमने जो योजना किसानों के लिए बनाई है उसमें किसान को सिर्फ राहत नहीं मिलेगी बल्कि उसका आर्थिक स्तर भी बढ़ेगा और उनका राज्य के जीडीपी में योगदान भी बढ़ेगा। केवल 1 रुपए में फसल बीमा देने का निर्णय हमने लिया और उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन भी हुआ है। यह भी पहला राज्य है देश में जो 1 रुपए में फसल बीमा देने का निर्णय लेने वाला राज्य महाराष्ट्र। नमो शेतकरी महासम्मान योजना में हर साल मोदी जी 6,000 रुपए देते हैं और हमारी सरकार 6,000 रुपए देती है। 12,000 सालाना किसान को हमारे राज्य में मिलते हैं। उनके डायरेक्ट किसानों के बैंक अकाउंट में डीबीटी होता है। फार्मर ग्रुप्स को प्रोत्साहित कर रहे हैं हम लोग, उन्हें प्राकृतिक और जैविक खेती के प्रशिक्षण दे रहे हैं। मेरे ख्याल से ऑर्गेनिक खेती के 25 लाख हेक्टर का हमने टारगेट रखा है। एग्रीकल्चर वैल्यू चेन को हमारी सरकार मजबूत कर रही है। स्टोरेज, एक्सपोर्ट के लिए किसानों का मार्गदर्शन और सहायता भी हमारा कृषि विभाग कर रहा है। माइक्रो मिलेट के प्रोडक्शन में भी बढ़ोतरी करने का काम शुरू है क्योंकि हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने मिलेट को प्रमोट किया है और इसके वजह से हमारी सरकार भी वैसे आगे बढ़ रही है। अगले 2 वर्षों के दौरान महाराष्ट्र में लगभग 5 लाख एग्रीकल्चर पंप्स देने का टारगेट हमारी सरकार ने रखा है। कृषि पंप मुख्यमंत्री सौर कृषि योजना के तहत राज्य में 8,000 से 9,000 मेगावाट सौर ऊर्जा का उत्पादन हमारी सरकार कर रही है। किसानों को अभी दिन में भी बिजली मिलेगी। किसानों को 24/7 बिजली मिले, इसके प्रयास हमारे सरकार के जारी है। इरिगेशन को बढ़ावा दिया है। 17 लाख हेक्टेयर जमीन इरिगेट करने के लिए 125 इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट को मान्यता दी हुई है। मैं यहाँ पर याद दिलाऊंगा कि हमारी सरकार जब शुरुआत हुई, मैं और देवेंद्र जी दोनों ने शपथ ली थी और पहले कैबिनेट में हम किसानों के हित के लिए ये इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट को ही मान्यता दी थी इसको। और पिछली सरकार में मैं अभी कंपैरिजन नहीं करूंगा और आज मैं किसी के ऊपर टिका भी नहीं करूंगा, लेकिन इतना कहूंगा आपकी जानकारी के लिए, 2.5 साल में सिर्फ 5 इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट को मंजूरी दी थी और हमारे 2 साल में 125 इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट को मान्यता दी। प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट सोसाइटी जो पैक है, उसका कंप्यूटराइजेशन का काम लगभग पूरा हो रहा है। हमारे गृह मंत्री केंद्रीय और सहकारिता मंत्री अमित भाई शाह, इन्होंने इसको बढ़ावा दिया है और इसका लाभ किसानों को होना चाहिए, ऐसी उनकी कोशिश है। तो उसमें भी हमारी सरकार बहुत बड़ा योगदान दे रही है। मॉडर्नाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर पर हमारी सरकार जोर दे रही है। नैसर्गिक आपदा में हमारी सरकार किसानों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर काम कर रही है, करती भी रहेगी, क्योंकि जो नैसर्गिक आपदा होती है तो एनडीआरएफ के रूल्स होते हैं, नॉर्म्स होते हैं, तो सब हमने चेंज कर दिए। एनडीआरएफ के डबल नुकसान भरपाई हमारी सरकार ने दी। 2 हेक्टेयर की लिमिट थी, 3 हेक्टेयर बढ़ा दी। यह भी हमारी सरकार ने नया नियम। देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को $5 ट्रिलियन बनाने का लक्ष्य जो हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का है, महाराष्ट्र इसमें $1 ट्रिलियन की अर्थव्यवस्था का योगदान देने का काम जरूर करेगा। इस लक्ष्य को, इस टारगेट को हासिल करने में कृषि क्षेत्र की बड़ी अहम भूमिका यहाँ पर रहने वाली है और केवल उद्योग के सहारे इस लक्ष्य को हम पा नहीं सकते। कृषि संशोधन, कृषि उत्पादन तथा कृषि वितरण व्यवस्था, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम, इन तीनों सूत्रों के सहारे हम देश के आर्थिक विकास में योगदान दे सकते हैं। हमारा भी यही प्रयास है। महाराष्ट्र को देश में कृषि क्षेत्र में नंबर 1 बनाने के लिए हम पूरा प्रयास करेंगे, क्योंकि भारत हमारा कृषि प्रधान देश है। हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री किसानों के बारे में हमेशा, उनकी योजनाओं के बारे में हमेशा दिल से कोशिश करते हैं और इसलिए हमारा भी फर्ज है कि किसानों के लिए हम अनेक योजना जो है ये उसको आगे बढ़ा रहे। और इसलिए फिर से एक बार मैं ये सब स्पष्ट करते हुए वर्ल्ड एग्रीकल्चर फोरम को धन्यवाद देता हूँ और at the end I express my sincere gratitude towards World Agriculture Forum and its all members. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra और जय किसान।
Thank you so very much, sir. Let us put our hands together one more time for Shri Eknath Shinde ji. Sir, you and your work is an inspiration for all of us. Thank you yet again. Could I now request Dr. M.J. Khan to please present mementos to all the dignitaries on the dais, beginning with the Honorable Governor, Shri C.P. Radhakrishnan ji. Can we have a memento? Can we have a memento? due to paucity of time, we have decided to present only one memento and the rest will be given later. I hope you all do not mind that. Yes? So let us move ahead. I will request Dr. C.P. Radhakrishnan ji, Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, for his address on this highly joyous and equally significant occasion.
I touch and salute the holy feet of Bharat Mata, the most powerful and the most merciful. Today, a great day for all the Kisans of India, especially for Maharashtra, that we have won the World Agricultural Prize 2024. And on this day, the dignitaries sharing the dais with me, our Honorable People-Friendly Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and the awardee of today, Sri Eknath Shinde ji, and Sri Rudy Robinage, Chairman, World Agricultural Forum, Vice Chairman of World Agricultural Forum of Asia, Dr. William Dar, Country Director of World Agricultural Forum, Dr. M.J. Khan, members of the Board of Trade, Government of India, Sri Basha Patel ji, distinguished Vice Chairpersons, Board members and Council members of World Agricultural Forum, the ambassadors and high commissioners from various countries, my dear esteemed invitees and media representative friends, sabko namaskar. It is a profound honor to be here today to witness the presentation of the second World Agricultural Prize 2024 to our Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Sri Eknath Shinde ji. This prestigious award acknowledges the Maharashtra's remarkable achievements and the place of our state on the global stage, reflecting its pioneering efforts and leadership in sustainable agriculture. The award not only recognizes the visionary leadership of our Chief Minister Sri Eknath Shinde ji, but also highlights the Maharashtra's significant contribution to the agricultural innovation and environmental sustainability on an international forum. Maharashtra has historically held a prominent position in India's agricultural landscape. There were days out of the 30 crore people were living in the country, few million died due to starvation. Today we are 140 crore people, but there is no starvation death. That is the greatest contribution of our Kisans to the humanity and India. Our farmers, through their resilience and hard work, have played a crucial role in our nation's food security. Despite facing numerous challenges, including droughts, water shortages, floods, and climate changes, Maharashtra has continued to show remarkable strength and adaptability. Our state has been a leader in agricultural innovation, being the first in India to adopt dry land farming technology, which is the very essence of today. We have empowered our farmers with advanced seeds, fertilizers, and modern farming tools. Along with this training in innovative practices such as pond irrigation and micro irrigation, collaborations with agricultural universities have translated cutting-edge research into practical applications, resulting in significant yield improvements. Recently, Maharashtra has shifted its focus towards high-value horticulture, recognizing the potential of fruits and vegetables for revenue and export. We are one of the leading exporting state in the agricultural products. That is the greatest achievement of Maharashtra today. Establishing agri-export zones have further enhanced our farmers' prosperity and contributed to the state's economical growth. These interactions of agricultural, food security and climate change is undeniable. We have faced challenges such as untimely rains, droughts and floods. To address these, we have implemented climate-resilient agricultural practices and advanced water conservation methods. With over 60% of our agricultural land now under drip irrigation, Maharashtra leads the nation in water conservation efforts. Under the able leadership of our Chief Minister, initiatives like this CM Task Force on Sustainable Development, focusing on holistic solutions for environmental protection and farmer livelihoods. The extensive bamboo plantation project is a prime example, aiming to combat climate changes, reduce plastic pollution, and support farmers economically. In my capacity as the Chancellor of Agricultural Universities in Maharashtra, I am proud to say our agricultural universities are doing significant research in various areas. Recently, I made a trip to Jalgaon, where the banana export is reaching a new height, and they are telling that the laboratories working there are international standards, and it is helping the farmers in a big way. See, the science has to back up our traditional farming. That is what is required, and it is matching today by the efforts of the Maharashtra state government. I really appreciate the Chief Minister Shindeji for this great effort. Modern thinking, modern research, modern science should help the traditional farmers. That is the only way that we can go further from here. And before concluding, I wish to honor the legacy of Dr. Norman Borlaug, the father of the Green Revolution, whose groundbreaking work in agriculture saved millions from hunger and earned him the Nobel Peace Prize. Today's Norman Borlaug Global Dialogue on Climate Change and Food Security, held in conjunction with this award ceremony, allows us to reflect on his legacy and address contemporary challenges in food security amidst climate extremes. Dr. Borlaug's work continues to inspire us as we strive to advance agriculture while promoting peace, prosperity, and sustainability. The recognition of Maharashtra's leadership through this World Agricultural Prize is a testament to our commitment to this vision. I once again congratulate Sri Eknath Shindeji for his well-deserved honor. As he rightly said, it is not an honor only for the Chief Minister, but it is an honor for the entire farming community. With these words, I thank everyone. And we all must take the oath that we will further grow from here to the new, another peak. A peak has to be conquered just to conquer the another peak. With these words, I wish you all every success, and I pray to God for the health and wealth and the happiness of everyone. Dhanyabad, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you, Honorable Governor, for your valuable insights and words of wisdom. We will now take a group picture of all the dignitaries on the dais. I request all of you to please remain seated. After this group picture, we will have another group picture with all the Padma Shri awardees. आप रुकिए सर. सर जरा रुकिए, 1 मिनट के लिए रुकिए. सर 1 मिनट आ जाइए यहां पर. सर सर फोटो हो जाए. आणि आता सगळ्या पद्मश्री अवॉर्डी शेतकऱ्यांना मी विनंती करते की त्यांनी मंचावरती एका फोटोग्राफसाठी यावं. सभी पद्मश्री किसान भाइयों और बहनों से विनती है, आप मंच पर पधारे एक ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ के लिए. प्लीज प्लीज स्टे, प्लीज स्टे. सर्वांनी अगदी थोड्या वेळासाठी बसून राहायचं. आपला कार्यक्रम अजून संपलेला नाहीये. सर्वांना विनंती आहे, एक काही मिनिटांची बस अगदी अल्पावधीत After this picture, the vote of thanks will be delivered by Dr. M.J. Khan, India Country Director, World Agriculture Forum, and Chairman of the Indian Chamber of Food and Agriculture.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Mr. C.P. Radhakrishnan, Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, Mr. Eknath Shinde, the popular leader of Maharashtra, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. I have the proud privilege to welcome all the jury members and the board members from around the world of the World Agriculture Forum to the land of Shivaji Maharaj in the capital of Maharashtra, the beautiful city of Mumbai. Thank you very much, all the Padma Shri farmers, 12 Padma Shri farmers from different parts of the country who have joined today. Let me express my gratitude to the jury who have chosen a leader who is translating the vision of the United Nations of Sustainable Development. बहुत बहुत बधाई आप सब लोगों को जो पूरे देश भर से किसान भाई यहाँ इकट्ठा हुए हैं. महाराष्ट्र के कोने कोने से किसानों के नेता, पद्मश्री किसान और बड़ी तादाद में आप सब जो लोग आए हैं अपने पॉपुलर लीडर के श्री एकनाथ शिंदे जी के सेकेंड वर्ल्ड एग्रीकल्चर प्राइज मिलने के ओकेजन पे आप सब लोगों को बहुत बहुत बधाई. हिज एक्सीलेंसी द सेक्रेटरी जनरल ऑफ आर्डो, हिज एक्सीलेंसी द डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ सीडैप, His Excellency the Ambassador of Peru, His Excellency the High Commissioner of Mauritius, His Excellency the Ambassador of Mongolia, His Excellency the Ambassador of Lesotho, Her Excellency the High Commissioner of Seychelles, Deputy High Commissioner of Ethiopia, the Zambia, the Deputy High Commissioner of Nigeria, diplomats from many other countries, ladies and gentlemen, मुझे पता है
सर्वांना विनंती आहे प्लीज बसून घ्या.
प्रिय नेता एकनाथ शिंदे जी को अवार्ड मिलने के बाद आप किसी को सुनना नहीं चाहते हैं. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सब लोगों का कि सब आप यहाँ इकट्ठा हुए और इस ओकेजन पे कि ये सवाल पूछा जा रहा है कि चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब को एक मिनट, ये काफी लोगों ने पूछा कि इतना बड़ा अवार्ड मुख्यमंत्री जी को कैसे मिला. उसके पीछे ये है कि 2 महीने पहले 11 जुलाई को जो महाराष्ट्र को बेस्ट एग्रीकल्चर स्टेट का अवार्ड मिला तो पूरी दुनिया में ये खबर बनी. तो वर्ल्ड एग्रीकल्चर फोरम के जूरी मेंबर्स ने, उसके सदस्यों ने हमसे बात किया और मैं एज कंट्री डायरेक्टर ये कन्विंस करने में सफल हुआ कि महाराष्ट्र में जो काम हो रहा है, जो यूनाइटेड नेशंस के सेक्रेटरी जनरल का विजन ट्रांसलेट हो रहा है, वो कहीं नहीं. इसलिए ये अवार्ड आए. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
राष्ट्रगीताने आपण कार्यक्रमाची सांगता करणार आहोत. सर्वांनी राष्ट्रगीतासाठी उभा रहा. प्लीज स्टैंड इन ऑनर ऑफ द नेशनल एंथम. राष्ट्रगान के सम्मान में सभी खड़े हो जाएं.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा. विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा. तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे. गाहे तव जय गाथा. जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता. जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
जय हिंद. कार्यक्रमाची सांगता झालेली आहे. समारोह का समारोह हो गया है. We conclude the program on that note. Dinner boxes have been arranged towards the exit. As you leave, please collect your dinner boxes. सर्वांनी जेवणाचे बॉक्सेस जाता जाता कलेक्ट करा. बाहर भोजन के बॉक्सेस का प्रबंध किया गया है. जाते जाते आप उन्हें ले सकते हैं. धन्यवाद.